These are results of faith.
My name is Christopher. I'm 28 years old.
My name is Gabriela, and I'm 28 years old.
I was in the church for about 6-7 months firm, coming every service, every day. I got a job offering to become a manager for a smoke shop. So I left the work of God and I became a manager at a smoke shop.
I thought it was normal, he got a new job, he had to work,
Became addicted to marijuana again. I started selling drugs again. But this time I had clientele from not only Florida, from all over the United States. I started experimenting with a lot of different drugs, hallucinogens, psychedelics. I started getting more involved in spiritual things. I got surprised on how many people worship and practice a lot of witchcraft, especially in the music industry. I had this quote, not a quote, I had a motto. And my motto was, you gotta sin to win.
To me, that wasn't really like a problem till it started affecting me directly, because I wasn't getting that attention that you will get from your partner. I met this person at work, and I started talking to that person, and I knew it was wrong.
I did not know, but I found out. Once I found out, I became more cold, can I say. I let my own emotions take over me in the sense that I should have no emotions. So then I just started selling a lot more drugs, heavier drugs. I started selling promethazine, codeine syrup. I started selling cocaine, acid, and I started an entertainment business. The other business was a pornography business. I was gonna start to actually have my own porn stars, but little did I know, everything that I was doing was all with the devil. Because I would literally put my soul on the line and I would tell him, I'll give you my soul, but if you give me exactly what I want.
I wanted him to change. I wanted him to be a transformed person. I wanted him to leave the drugs, leave the women, leave that life that he was living. Why? Because I was tired of suffering. Now, I was thinking about myself. I want to be happy in a relationship, have a marriage, but I want him to change. So I was coming to church for about almost 6 months. I will go up every single time that the pastor, the bishop will call. I will go and start crying and start pouring my heart out and say, my Lord, please forgive me. And then, the service would end. I will go home and I will go back to doing the same things too. After that period is of about 5-6 months is when God really spoke to me. Is you can't expect him to change if you don't change. Around that time, we had a campaign going on. It was something telling me, you haven't given your all. You haven't given the one thing that you have to give up. God wanted me to leave him, to leave my boyfriend.
I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to consider her thoughts. But the moment that she spoke and she said that it's something that God told her to do, my body took a reaction that I couldn't even stand up to her. I couldn't even confront. I couldn't keep going. I couldn't even say the next words. I think I told her, okay, in the morning I'll leave. In the morning, so I could stay overnight. She goes, no, it's now.
So at that time, that's when I knew it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders when I did that. That's when I got baptized with the Holy Spirit. And it wasn't a moment that I was crying. It wasn't a moment of emotion. It was just a certainty inside of me that just told me, I am with you. No matter what happens from there on, I am with you. Just go with everything, that you're never alone in this time. And from there on, inside of me, everything changed. My thoughts changed, the way I was, my negative thoughts, this person that I would think that had no future, I started seeing myself with a future. I started seeing others and seeing their suffering.
And then at that time, when I had everything going the way I wanted to see things, that's when those things would come back to my head. And I began to start worrying about my spiritual life. I felt like I was in debt with sinning. I went home. It was around 1 a.m. I was by myself. I got a chair that I saw, like the nicest chair I have in my house. I grabbed it, I put it in my room. I cleaned it up. I got a towel, I started cleaning it. I took all the dust off. And then I sat on the bed and I told God, sit there and talk to me. I closed my eyes and I see nothing, not even a vision. I see nothing. And then the next thing I know, I stop and I just take a deep breath and I just feel silence. And for once I felt peace, like nothing to worry about. And in that moment, that's when I got up and I said, wow. And then the scene of when Bishop told me, go to the altar and give your life, came back to my head. And I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going straight to the altar. I went straight to church. I left my car on in front of the church. I didn't even turn it off. I just ran to the altar and I started talking to God. I went home, I grabbed all my guns, I grabbed all the drugs, I grabbed my phone, I started deleting all my contacts. I started calling my connections from all over, and I started calling and telling them, listen, I can't do this no more. I used to have gold teeth, grills. I took my teeth off, I had my chains, my watch, my rings. I had an appointment to finish a tattoo piece on my body, my whole chest and my whole stomach, chest, and my arms. I go back to my tattoo artist and I told him I can't do it no more. Just keep whatever I put down as down payment, keep it.
But I started seeing him more and more, but I knew that I couldn't just give myself to him. I was already happy, so I didn't need somebody to make me happy. I already had the Holy Spirit.
When I received the Holy Spirit, what was real to me actually was that not only is he with me, but at the same time, I have his strength. So now with his strength that he gave me, my whole life, my vision of everything I had before changed. The next blessing was the love life. And at this stage, I remember there was something I had to tell her, and I had to be very clear with her. And I told her, listen, I know we had our own dreams. We had goals to own businesses, and we're working on it, doing purposes for it, preparing ourselves. But I told her, how can we live a life for ourselves now, knowing that God saved us? So I told her, if we get married, we're gonna serve the Lord, we're gonna serve God. And I asked her, do you accept?
And that was around 2018, in the year of 2018, when we got back together as an official couple. I don't recognize myself as before. I don't recognize my husband. It's just completely different. There's communication, there's peace at home.
Now, I will never go back. The only thing I have from my old life is just my testimony. But I thank God for this new life. And not only that, I thank God that he gave us the opportunity, for it's a privilege to serve him.